Good morning and welcome back to Joni Come Lately. Can you believe? I always have to say this because I'm still in awe of it, but this is my video 13. I wanna go ahead and start by saying I have a note. On my video 12, for those of you who go on your iPhone or your phone and you actually look at the video on your phone, you'll see that on Substack, the words will scroll across the screen. Well, I was notified that exactly 1 minute and 40 seconds into the video, and this is video 12 that I'm talking about, I say, when success comes knocking, my whole body goes into fight or flight. But the word success auto-corrected itself into sex. So my apologies for that blurb. But I bet I got your attention at that point if you were looking down. But anyway, I do apologize for that. It was not intended to say that. Before I get started on this week's theme, I want to take a moment for anyone who's joining me for the first time. I think that I'm going to start doing this because I am seeing that there's a little bit more traction, which I am so appreciative of. And so for all of you who are joining me, I welcome you and I'm glad that you're here. This is what Joni Come Lately is all about. It's actually, I'm a debut author on a self-publishing journey. So what I have my video that drops every Monday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And then I have a newsletter that drops on every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And both these drop not only on my Substack, the newsletter, just the full newsletter drops on Substack only. But then I do have other social media apps such as my Facebook author page, and also on TikTok and on Instagram where my videos will drop. I do a little snippet on my Facebook, and so I welcome you to look at some of those older versions of the videos. And the reason why you might not hear specifics about the book, the secondaries, the book that I wrote. It's because it's in developmental editing. And so I really don't share a lot of specifics at this point in time because anything can change. I mean, it may be suggested that I, format it this way or, say this instead of that. And then I've already talked about it. And so you're expected to read about it. So what I do is I actually have themes that run through. Every writer is writing from their own personal experience, and there's certain feelings that come about when they're writing. Well, these are themes that are flowing through not only the book, but I share about my protagonist and what he's feeling in relation to that week's theme. But I also share a personal story of my own about not just me, but my self-publishing journey. So I just wanted to tell you that that's kind of what these videos are about. That's a format, that's my journey, and I'm really so glad that you're joining us if you're joining us for the first time. So now on to this week's theme, which is right frame of mind. It's a loaded one, and right off the bat, I want to ask you a few questions. I want you to sit with it as you watch this video. Are you an optimist or a pessimist? Do you spring out of bed each morning, or do you sit on the edge dreading the start of the new day? Are you a glass half full or a half empty person? Is a mistake proof that you tried or proof that you failed? I will let you in on a secret. If you're anything like me, you have been through all of these at some point in your life. So let me take you back to 2013. Now, I know I have shared on some previous videos that I'm a huge fan of the band Journey. I became absolutely obsessed with reading about their lead singer, Steve Perry, his voice, his life story, and I started visualizing, genuinely visualizing, meeting him one day. How and when did not matter, because when you're in the right frame of mind about something you truly want, the details kind of take care of themselves. I played it out so much in my mind that things I cannot explain started happening. So I'm going to give you just a couple examples because I could go on and on, but I'm going to just give you a couple. I had a work trip to San Diego. which is very close to Del Mar, California. And that is supposedly where Steve Perry lives. And I kept thinking, wouldn't it be something if I got to run into him during that trip? The day before the trip, the travel coordinator who was traveling with me could not get any hotels in the San Diego area near the company we were going to go speak at. So she booked us a hotel in Del Mar instead and asked, was that okay with me? Was that okay? Oh my God, what are the odds of that happening? I unfortunately did not run into Steve Perry, but I did see a car that same week with the license plate spelling of Perry, P-E-R-R-Y. And the following year, I moved into a home whose side street was named Journey. These are just a few examples of the flukes I was experiencing. Coincidence? Maybe. But here's what I do know. The right frame of mind has a way of opening doors you did not even know existed. Being in the right frame of mind really is not optional for me. It is critical for this journey, for this book, for everything I'm trying to build. And here is where I am right now. I'm exactly where I should be. The doors to traditional, publishing shut. And instead of letting that define me, I chose to embrace it, to make lemonade. My dreams of being a published author were never going to be determined by subjective no's or someone else's point of view. But Joni, you might ask, what if in the end they were right? What if the no's were justified? Well, that is always a possibility, but I refuse to believe that what I have started here is going to end up in nowhere land. Because here's what I do know. The Martian, 50 Shades of Grey, Dungeon Crawler Carl, The Housemaid, Aragon, all of these were self-published first. And I would like to believe that each one of those authors had a moment, just a split second, where they wondered if they were making the right decision. And then they made a choice. I can do this. Sound familiar? And my protagonist understands the right frame of mind better than anyone because his is constantly being tested. His mental and emotional state, like each of ours, is temporary, shifting, fragile, and unfortunately for him, it is largely defined by his memories from his past life. Those memories follow him everywhere, and they cause him to react to situations that draw attention to his quirkiness, his lack of knowledge in this century, things that could put him in potential danger. He tries over and over to do things differently, to respond instead of react, to think before he speaks, to remember that he's no longer in 1969. But here's the thing about being 16, and honestly, about being any age. Changing the way your mind works is hard. It is literally like trying to teach an old dog new tricks. Although I say this with a lot of love. My granddog, Ozzy, has proven that age does not always matter when it comes to learning something new. My protagonist, however, is a work in progress, just like the rest of us. And that, more than anything else, is what makes him so easy to root for. So here's my question for you this week. What does being in the right frame of mind look like for you? And what do you do when you are not there? When the doubts creeps in, when the energy runs out, when the glass feels more empty than full? Tell me in the comments, because your story matters just as much as mine. And before I go, newsletter number 13 drops this Wednesday, August 26th. Link in the bio. Mark your calendars also, because puzzle piece 5, for those of you who are trying to guess my puzzle pieces, drops also on Wednesday, August 26th on both Instagram on Instagram, on all my social media, TikTok, Substack Notes, and Facebook. Another clue, another piece of the world of the secondaries. You do not want to miss it. The player with the most correct answers by launch day wins a personally signed first copy. And if you have friends or family who would love this journey, please share and repost my videos from Joni Come Lately on any of those social medias that you are familiar with. I'm Joni Ray. My book is called The Secondaries, and we're just getting started. See you on Wednesday.